Morning, my name is Father Rayappa. In this segment, I'm going to talk about Seraphim based on a text from Ephesians chapter 1, verse 21 and Colossians chapter 1, 16. First I read, then I explain about the Seraphim. Ephesians chapter 1, 21 reads as follows. Far above all rule and authority, power and dominion, and every name that is invoked, not only in the present age, but also in the one to come. Now Colossians chapter 1 verse 16. For in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers, or rulers or authorities. All things have been created through him and for him. So this is a basic text to interpret the angels, archangels, seraphim, cherubim, principalities, dominions, powers, etc., etc. The most influential Christian angelic hierarchy was that put forward by Pseudo-Dionysius the Areopagite in the 4th and 5th century in his book the Coelesti Hierarchia on the celestial hierarchy. During the Middle Ages, many schemes were proposed, some drawing on and expanding on Pseudo-Dionysius, others suggesting completely different classifications. According to medieval Christian theologians, the angels are organized into several orders or angelic choirs. Pseudo-Dionysius on the celestial hierarchy and St. Thomas Aquinas, Summa Theologica, drew on passages from the New Testament, specifically Ephesians 1:21 and Colossians 1:16, to develop a schema of 3 hierarchies, spheres or triads of angels, with each hierarchy containing 3 orders or choirs. Although both authors drew on the New Testament, the biblical canon is relatively silent on the subject, and these hierarchies are considered less definitive than biblical material. Seraphim, that is a plural, singular form is seraph. Isaiah saw the seraphim in his famous vision. They stood above Jehovah as he sat on his throne. That is Isaiah chapter 6, verse 2-6. They are divine creatures from the Old Testament associated with the cherubim and later taken to be angels. The root of seraphim comes either from the Hebrew verb seraph, which means to burn, or the Hebrew noun seraph, a fiery flying serpent. Because the term appears several times with reference to the serpents encountered in the wilderness, especially in Numbers chapter 21:8 and Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 15 and Isaiah chapter 14:29 and chapter 30 verse 6. It has often been understood to refer to fiery serpents. From this, some suggest that the seraphim were snake-like in form and in some sense fiery creatures are associated with fire. Tradition places seraphim in the highest rank in the Christian angelic hierarchy and in the 5th rank of 10 in the Jewish angelic hierarchy. A seminal passage in the book of Isaiah, chapter 6, verse 1-8, used the term to describe 6 winged beings that fly around the throne of God, crying, "Holy, holy, holy." The throne scene with its triple invocations of holiness, a formula that came to be known as the Triads, profoundly influenced subsequent theology, literature, and art. Its influence is frequently seen in works depicting angels, heaven, and apotheosis. Seraphim are mentioned as celestial beings in an influential Hellenistic work, the Book of Enoch and the Book of Revelation. They dwell in the presence of God and cleave to Him and are immediately united to Him. They receive revelations of God before the other angels and then relate such information to them. We identify them with the fire of healing and love. Each seraph radiates powerful light, a light so powerful that the thrones and cherubim cannot look at them. It is said that anyone who lays eyes on a seraph would instantly be incinerated due to its immense brightness, Isaiah notwithstanding. They are described as tall, with 6 wings and 4 heads, one for of the cardinal directions. They use 1 pair of wings to fly, 1 to cover their eyes as a token of humility, and 1 to cover their feet as a token of respect. They stand in the direct presence of God. They bear a general resemblance to the human figure in some aspects. Writers other than Isaiah describe them with the face, voice, feet, and hands. In this way, they passed from Jewish tradition to Christianity as angels. They remain close to the throne of God. In fact, they serve as caretakers of God's throne. They are always in His presence. They circle the throne in perpetual adoration of God. Some scholars describe them as angels of unadulterated love, light, and fire. The seraphim that Isaiah saw hovered above and on both sides God's thrones, forming 2 opposite choirs and presenting antiphonal worship. Their occupation was twofold: to celebrate the praises of Jehovah's holiness and power, and to act as the medium of communication between heaven and earth. From their antiphonal chant, one called out to another. We may picture them arranging in opposite rows on each side of the throne. To summarize, seraphim, singular seraph, literally translated burning ones. The word seraph is normally a synonym for serpents when used in the Hebrew Bible. Mentioned in Isaiah chapter 6, seraphim are the highest angelic class. They serve as the caretakers of God's throne and continuously shout praises. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of His glory. According to Isaiah chapter 6 verses 1 to 8, the seraphim are described as fiery 6-winged beings. With 2 wings they cover their faces, with another 2 they cover their feet, and the last 2 they use to fly. Thank you.